Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chanel. Okay guys, as you probably see from this title, this is going to be my full TBR. So these are the books that I want to read over the full time. So I'm giving myself, when full finish. So September, October, November, give it up to the end of November, I think. Yeah, as you can see, I'm trying to get into the full mood. I've got my nice brown magical mushroom jumper on, what I really love, and I love this jumper so much. Yeah, so these books are going to be cozy little mysteries, horror, thriller books, like basically everything that autumn is. I am going to try my best to do this because autumn is my favourite season. Like, I was born, I'm an autumn baby, okay? I'm born, my birthday's in October, like autumn or fall is my season. It's my favourite season. I love it so much. So yes, I can't wait to get into these books and let you know what I'm looking to read. So yes, let's get on with the books. Okay, so first I've got the Final Girls Support Club, the Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I will put a picture on screen. I will. So it says this one is in horror movies, the final girl is the one who's left standing when the credit rolls. The one who fought back, defeated the killer and avenged her friends. The one who emerges bloodied but victorious. But after the sirens fade and the audience move on, what happens to her? Leonata Torkington is a real-life final girl who survived a massacre 22 years ago, and it has defined every day of her life since. And she's not alone. For more than a decade, she's been meeting with 5 other actual final girls and their therapists in the support group for those who survive unthinkable, putting their lives back together. Piece by piece, that is until one of the women misses a meeting and Lynette's worst fears are realised someone knows about the group and is determined to take their lives apart again, piece by piece. But the thing is about these final girls is that they have each other now, and no matter how bad the odds, how dark the night, how sharp the knife, they will never ever give up. Like, it does sound really good, and I really do want to read it. I've been wanting to read it for a while. I would be listening to this as an audio book, as I can listen to it on Scrib, so that's what I'll probably most likely be doing. So yeah, that's the first book here. Okay, so the next book that I've got here is The Book of Accents by Chuck Wendig. Yeah, this is a horror book. This I saw on Gabby's channel. Gabby recommended this and it sounds really good, and I really want to read it over the full time because it just sounds so good. It says, a family return to their hometown and to the dark past that haunts them still. Long ago, Nathan lived in a house in the country with his abusive father, and he has never told his family what happened there. Long ago, Maddie saw something she shouldn't have, and she is trying to remember that lost trauma by making haunted sculptures. Long ago, something sinister, something hungry walked in the tunnels, mountains and coal mines of their hometown in rural Pennsylvania. Now Nathan and Maddie are married and they have moved back to their hometown. And now what happened long ago is happening again, and it is happening to their son. Like, it sounds so good, and I really want to read it so badly. I want to jump in and read it now, but I can't. I would, but I can't. I want to wait until it's October. I want to get this on my October TBR so badly. So badly. Yeah. The dread, the scoop, the pacing, the turns. I haven't felt all this so intensely since The Shining. That was by Stephen Graham Jones. That bit of blurb was. But yeah, Move Over King, the new voice of modern horror. Oh, that's so good, so good. So yeah, I really want to get to this and read it so badly. So yes, definitely want to read this. Okay, next book that I've got on this list is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I'll put a picture here as I don't have it physically. But yeah, this one says, in her quickly gratifying Rortal Lake town, Jade sees recent events only her. Anyway, Jade Daniels is an angry half-Indian outcast with an abusive father and abusive mother. Oh, and an absent mother. And an entire town that wants nothing to do with her. She lives in her own world, a world in which protection comes from an unusual source. Horror movies, especially the ones where a masked killer seeks revenge on the world that wronged them. And Jade narrates the quirky history of Paul Folk, yeah, as it is one of those movies. But when blood actually starts to spill into the waters of Indian Lake, she pulls us into her dazzling mind of blood and mass murderers and predators, exactly how the plot will unfold. Oh, predicts exactly how the plot's gonna unfold. Yeah, even as Jade drags us into her dark fever dream, a surprising and intimate portrait emerges, a portrait of the scared and traumatized little girl beneath the Jason Voorhees mask. Angry, yes, but also a girl who easily cries, fiercely loves, and desperately wants a home. A girl whose feelings are too big for her body. My Heart is a Chainsaw is her story, her homage to horror and revenge and triumph. I hope I did that no justice at all. So yeah, anyway, I really want to read this. It just sounds so good, and I think it would be a great book to read for full time. So yeah, next book that I've got on this, next book that I would like to get to and read, hopefully in full time, is The X Hex by Erin Sterling. Yeah, I think this is the only romance one that I've actually got on here. I think all the rest are like thrillers, mysteries, horror, stuff like that. Anyway, but yeah, this is the only romance I think I've got on here that I would like to read. Mainly in like around October, because it's witchy and it's spooky and it's got the witchy vibe because it's about witches. So yeah, I'm very interested in reading this because in this one, so we've got Vivian. She basically have has a really bad breakup with her boyfriend Rise, and she basically puts a hex on him, and she doesn't really think it worked, but she was like just mucking around. But she's put a hex on him, and then a couple years later, about 9 years later, Rise ends up coming back to this little small town that where back to their hometown, to find Vivian to help him get the hex off, because it actually worked. And Ray has trouble with his dating life, and yeah, it sounds really good. I probably didn't do no I probably do none of these books justice at all, but I'm very interested in reading this, and it seems good. It seems good anyway. So yeah, that's that one. Next one I've got here is The Shining by Stephen King. Yeah, I really as much as I okay, so I'm 50-50 about this book. One part of me wants to read this so badly, I really want to read this. The other part of me does not want to read it at all. Yeah, the other half just want to chuck this book, get rid of it, hide on my bed. Like, no, I just don't want to read it. And then I really do want to read it, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to read it to get it done and over with, to see if I love it or not, because it does seem really good, and I know loads of people really love this book. And to be honest, out of all the editions that there is, I really love this edition of the books that they've got here. Like, I really do. I just love this edition. I want to collect the other books in this sort of edition if I can. I'll be very happy if I can get the other books in this edition as well. So yeah. So yeah, I'm very interested in reading this. It says, Danny is only 5 years old, but in the words of old Mr. Hildebrand, he is a shiner, aglow with physic voltage. When his father becomes caretaker of the overlooked hotel, Danny's vision grows out of control. But as winter comes in and the blizzard cuts them off, the empty hotel seems to develop a life of its own. Why are masked guests riding in the elevator, and who is the lady in room 217? Somehow there is an evil force in the hotel, and that too is beginning to shine. Like, it just sounds so good. It sounds so good, so good. I have actually been putting off watching the film. I've never watched the film for this, never. But I really want to. So my idea is to read this and then watch the film. If my little heart can take all of that, all this scariness. But yeah, I really do want to read this, and I just can't wait. I just can't wait to read this. Like, but here is, in my dreams I hold a knife, and that's by Ashley Winstead. So yeah, this one says 6 friends, 1 college reunion, 1 unsolved murder. A college reunion turns dark and deadly in this chilling and Prometheus suspense novel about 6 friends, 1 unsolved murder, and the dark secrets they've been hiding from each other and themselves for a decade. 10 years after graduation, Jessica Miller has planned her triumphant return to Southern elite Duquesne University, down to the envious whispers that are sure to follow in her wake. Everyone is going to see the girl she wants them to see. Confident, beautiful, indifferent, not the girl she was when she left campus, back when Heather's murder fractures everything, including the tight bond linking the 6 friends she's been closest to since freshman year. 10 years ago, everything fell apart, including the dream she worked for her whole life, and her relationship with the one person she wasn't supposed to love. But not everyone is ready to move on. Not everyone left Dunkman 10 years ago. Not everyone can let Heather's murder go unsolved. Someone is determined to trap the real killer, to make the guilty pay. When the 6 friends are reunited, they will be forced to confront what happened that night and the years' worth of secrets each of them would do anything to hide. Like, that does sound really, really good, and I really do want to get to that and read it. It just sounds so good. So good. So yeah, I would really like to get to that and read it. I really would. Like, I just love autumn. I just love fall. I just love fall so much. With Halloween, with all the spooky stuff, with all the cozy stuff as well, the colours changing on the leaves, the rain, just being all wrapped up nice and warm and cozy. I just love it, and I love all these autumn colours as well. So yeah, so yeah, I'm really happy. I'll be very interested in getting to that. I really would be. So yeah, the next book that I've got here is Frankenstein by Mary Shelly. So yeah, this is the edition I got. I really love this edition. Like, I just had to get this edition of Frankenstein. I do want their paperback penguin edition. I do want that, because it does look quite interesting. No, it doesn't say anything here. Let me see if I can find it. Doesn't say nothing on the book about where it is, but like most people, I think most people anyway have, like, you know, read Frankenstein. I know some people haven't, because, like, look at me, I haven't read Frankenstein yet. So there you go. Okay, I can't find anything, but like most people would know what Frankenstein is about. It's, to be honest, everybody think this is Frankenstein, but it was actually the doctor that was called Frankenstein. I actually don't know what his creation was actually called. So yeah, I'm very interested to see if it does say that in here. But yeah, I just love this edition. Like, it's just, oh, so good, so good. I love this edition so much. If I cannot inspire love, I will cause fear. Very good. But yeah, can't wait to get to this one and read this. So yeah. Next book that I've got here is The Whisper Man by Alex North. This is obviously a thriller. This says here, when Tom and his son Jake moved to Featherbank, they're looking for a fresh start. But But this sleepy village has a dark path. 15 years earlier, a serial killer its streets. In the days before he struck, his young victims claimed to hear whispers in the night. Of course, an old crime needs not trouble Tom and Jake until another boy goes missing. And then Jake says he hears a whispering at his window. Like, it sounds so good. So yeah, I'm very interested in reading this. I've had this now for I think I've had this for a year now, and I still haven't read it. What I'm very disappointed in. But yeah, I really do want to read it. An ambition deep, satisfying thriller, a seamless blend of Harlan Coben, Stephen King, and Thomas Harris. Okay. Yeah, I'm very interested in getting to this one and read it now. Okay, next book that I've got here is Ordinary Monsters, by J.M. Miro. I will put a picture here because I don't have it yet. I don't have it physically yet. I am going to buy it soon, so that I can read it in October. So yeah. So this one says, England, 1882, in Victorian London, two children with mysterious powers are hunted by a figure of darkness, a man made of smoke. 16-year-old Charlie despite a lifetime of beauty, doesn't have a scar on him. Despite a lifetime of brutality, he doesn't have a scar on him. His body heals itself, whether he wants it or not. Milo, a founding from a railway fault car, shines with a strange bluish light. He can melt or mend flesh. When two grizzled detectives are recruited to escort them north to safety, they are forced to confront the nature of differences and belonging and the shadowy edges of the monstrous. What follows is a journey from the gaslit streets of London to an eerie estate outside in Edinburgh. It's got dark again. I think it's gonna rain. It's been raining on and off all day today. Anyway, Edinburgh, where other children with gifts, the talents, have been gathered. Here the world of the dead and the world of the living threaten to collide. And as secrets within the industry unfold, Mallow and Charlie and the rest of the talents will discover the truth about their abilities and the nature of the force that is stalking them, that the most monstrous sometimes come bearing with sweetest gifts. That sounds really, really good, and I really want to read it as soon as possible. So yeah, I just can't wait. I just can't wait to read it. So yeah, that's the next one is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. Okay, this I want to read. This I've been wanting to read for the longest of times. Like, I will put a picture here because I don't have it physically yet. But yeah, I really, really want to read this one. Like, I really do. It just seems so good, and it's her house. It's a haunted house. Like, what else do you need for full time when you can read a haunted house? ghost story, and I just want it. I just want it so badly. It is the story of four seekers who arrive at a nostril unfriendly pile called Hill House. Dr. Mongrel and Ocular Scholar looking for solid evidence of a haunting. Theodora, the light-hearted assistant, Eleanor, a friendless, fragile young woman, well accompanied with poltergeist, and Luke, the future heir of Hill House. At first, they stay seems distant to be Mary and a spooky encounter with indestructible phenomenon. But Hill House is gathering its powers soon it will choose one of them to make its own. Like, that does sound really good. Hang on, let me just turn on a light very quickly. It'll do. Not much light, but it'll do. But yeah, I'm very interested in getting to Hill House because I really want to read it. I really want to read it because it seems so good. I absolutely love the Netflix TV show for it. So yeah, the TV show that's on Netflix, absolutely love that. Even though that I know that it's kind of different because that's about a family in that one, but then this one is about all strangers, and so yeah, I really want to get to it, and I really want to read it. So hopefully I can get it on to one of my TBRs in the next couple of months so that I can read it. So yes. Next book that I've got here is Kill Creek by by Scott Thomas. Yes, this is another haunted house ghost horror book. And I want to read this one as well, like I really do. This one sounds really good. I must admit, this one does sound good. It says, at the end of Dark Parade Road, nearly forgotten in the Kenneth countryside, is the Finch house. For years it has remained empty, overgrown, abandoned. Soon the door will be opened for the first time in decades, but something is waiting, lurking in the shadows, anxious to meet its new guests. When best-selling horror author Sam McGrath is invited to spend Halloween night in one of the country's most infamous haunted houses, his recreant agrees. At least he won't be alone. Joining him are three other masters of the macabre writers who have helped shape modern horror. But what begins as a simple public stunt will become a fight for survival. The entity they have awakened will follow them, taunt them, threatening to make them a part of the bloody license of Kill Creek. That sounds so good. I really want to read it so badly. Like, it really does sound so good, and I want to read it so badly. I really do. With the creepy monster in the house, the creepy ghost, and yes, I love it so much. Okay, so the next book here I've got, I believe it's a cozy mystery. Okay, so this one is The Cove by L.J. Ross. I know that it's definitely a mystery. I don't know if it's a cozy mystery, that's the only thing. But anyway, this says, Gabrielle Adams has it all. Brains, beauty, and a handsome fiancé. A dream job in publishing until one day everything changes. The underground killer takes his victims when they least expect it, standing on the edge of a busy tube platform as they wait for a train to arrive through the murky underground tunnels of London. Gabrielle soon learns that being a survivor is harder than being a victim, and she struggles to return to her old life, desperate to break free from the endless nightmares. She snatches up an opportunity to run a tiny bookshop in a picturesque cove in rural Cornwall. She thinks she's found the perfect escape, but has she swapped one nightmare for another? Suspense and mystery are pipped with romance and horror humour in this fast-paced thriller set amongst the spectacular Cornish landscapes. I really love that because this is in Cornwall. Like, this is based in England, down in Cornwall, and I love Cornwall. I really do. Like, it is such a lovely little place to be. Like, I would totally move down to Cornwall. I really would. But yeah, this sounds really good, and I'm very interested in getting to this one very soon. So hopefully I can. Next book. The next book that I've got here is Stolen Tongues. Okay, yes, this is definitely a horror book. I've heard really good things about this. I have, and I really want to read it because everybody that I've heard that has read this book, they have all said that this book creeped them out and scared them so badly that they had to sleep with the lights on for the next couple of days because it was that scary. And I really want to read it. I want to see what it's like, and yeah. So this one is Stolen Tongues, and this is by Felix Blackwell. It says it's ow, my finger. It says here, a romantic cabin getaway doesn't go exactly as planned. High up on the windswept cliffs of Pale Peak, Faye and Felix celebrate their new engagement, but soon a course of ghastly noises erupted from the nearby woods. The screams of animals, the cry of children, and the mad babble of 100 mournful voices. A dark figure looms near the windows in the dead of night, whispering to Faye. As the weather turns dark, deadly, Felix discovered that his terrified fiancée isn't just mumbling in her sleep. She's whispering back. So good, and I really want to get to this and read it as soon as I possibly can. So yeah, I really am. It sounds so good, and I really want to get to it and read it. And then I probably won't be able to sleep for the next couple of days after reading it. But there you go. The things I do for YouTube. So yes, The Maid by Nita Primrose. This is a mystery. I'm just going to go over these really quickly now. Just some little mystery thriller books that I've got here very quickly. Yeah, this one I think will be really good. I think this will be a nice little cozy mystery, I think. Because The Maid is basically about, obviously, a maid. The maid is called Molly, and one day she's going around her normal business, you know, cleaning the rooms until she gets to the luxurious parts of the hotel where all the VIPs go and all the high up people go. And she ends up going into the suite, and she finds a guest dead. She finds a guest dead, and then she discovers that she has got a power not in like a magical superpower, stuff like that, but she has got a power because as she's a maid, the maids go unnoticed. The maids hear stuff that you wouldn't normally hear if you was more noticeable. So as she is unnoticeable, she hears stuff, and she might be able to maybe be able to solve this case. So yeah, anyway, that's my explanation of the book. Basically, yeah, so I think it does go a bit. You don't see her, but she sees you. See? But no, I think this will be really good to read. So yeah, hopefully I can. Is Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I think this would be a nice cozy little mystery to read for the full time. Okay, yes, I know that this is more set in the colder, because it goes up in the mountains where it's all cold and snowy. I don't know if this is around Christmas time, around winter time. I'm not that sure, but I still think that this would be a nice little cozy mystery to read, and it's only very short anyway, so a very nice, easy, quick read to read as well. So yeah, that's that one. The Silent Patient by Alex Michael Fields, I believe. Yeah, I think this will be a good one to read for the full time as well. Yeah, I think this would be a good little thriller to read for fall. So yeah, that one. Ace of Spades by, I can't even pronounce that name, so I'm not even going to try. So there you go. I know I can't mention that name. I can't pronounce that name at all. So yeah, I think this would be a good book to read as well, because this kind of gives me dark academia. Yeah, dark academia sort of vibes. So I think this will be a good book to read as well for the full time. So yeah. The Hunting Party by Lucy Frawley. I think this would be a good little thriller for the full time as well. It says, in the remote hunting lodge, deep in the Scottish wilderness, old friends gather for New Year. The beautiful one, the golden couple, the violent one, the new parents, the quiet one, the city boy, the outsider, the victim. Not an accident, a murder among friends. That's literally what it says here. And yeah, it is. So yeah, I'm very interested in reading this. I think this would be very good, a very good book. I think it's mainly the themes of this book as well, the colours of this book as well, the colour here, the little moose or deer, reindeer here, and then if you look very carefully on the hunting party part here, it's all orange and leaves, or it could be fire. Could be a fire glow there, but I think this will be a great party. I think this will be a great read to read for the full time. So yeah, the last one that I've got here is The Age of Witches by Lusa Morgan. I think this would be a nice little witchy read for the full time as well. I don't know when this is set, except from I know that it's set back in the 1690s. He says in 1692, so it's in the 1690s. 1690s it is. So yeah, I think this will be a good little witchy read to read. Jeez. Okay, yeah. I think this will be a good read as well. So yeah. But yeah, they are all the books that I'm looking to read for my fall. So yeah, that is my full TBR that I'm looking to get to. Hopefully I can get to most of these. I'm hoping to anyway, but yeah, they all seem very good. Obviously there are some in here that I am more excited to get to than others. But yeah, overall I am very excited to get to all of these, and I want to read them all obviously. But if you did see any in here that you think I should prioritise more than others, let me know. And if you think if there was any other books that you think would be more better for full time to read, any cozy mysteries, any thriller mystery books, horror books, or dark academia books, especially that, because I really am liking that sort of vibe, the dark academia vibe. So I kind of want to read more books with that in it. So if you do know that, what sort of books that would be, let me know down in the comments down below. I'll be very appreciated about for that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you liked the video, give it a big massive thumbs up, and if you want to see more bookish content from me, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified. But I will see you in the next one. Bye.